Indie Beacon Radio with hostess Denise Bryson. Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag Indie Beacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
Welcome everyone to our show, our radio show today. We are having the privilege to interview Arie Brish. Is that correct?
That's correct. The pleasure is mine.
I'm so glad to get to meet you. He is the author of Lay an Egg and Make Chicken Soup. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Arie.
Okay, I grew up in Israel and went to school in Israel. My first degree was a double E, electrical engineer, and then I have an MBA. Back in the days, I started to work for an American company called National Semiconductor, who was one of the first American companies to come to Israel and build an R&D center there. And at the time, most economies in the world, I don't want to give you the year, but most countries in the world had a closed economy. There was no foreign companies, unlike today. So going to work for a foreign company or an American company was pretty risky career move at the time, but they paid much more than the local companies, so I joined them. Also, the assignment was very innovative. It was just before the personal computers started to become pervasive, and we designed one of the first microprocessors for that industry. So it was very innovative from a technical challenge as well as paid well. So I took the job. That's my first job out of school. A couple of years later, they transferred me to the Silicon Valley to help commercialize the same product we designed in Israel, and that was quite an experience, becoming, supporting marketing and sales and operations and manufacturing out of being a design engineer. I'm going back so far because that's the motto of the book is all the moving parts you need to commercialize a new product. Many people focus on just designing the new product, getting a couple of prototypes to work in the lab, and they think the job is done. It's not done. That's maybe 20% of the job in getting a commercial success of whatever you do.
Exactly. And so I was really enjoying reading the summary and reading through. I kind of went out there and read through through your ebook, and so I was really excited to really read it. I think this is something that not only what they call the C group, I guess the C-suite is what you refer to them, but anybody can really use it for their own business if they're a startup business or anything like that. Now, what inspired you to write the book?
So over the years, so fast forward 20 or 30 years after that first job I had the pleasure to be in a C-suite, running large operations at the time it was at Motorola. But the theme that I saw among all the young engineers at the time, all the way to today, and we'll talk about today in a little bit, they kind of have a great idea. They know how to build a few prototypes for the lab to kind of work, and then they think the job is done. So the same mistake I did as a young engineer, I see that going again and again and again up to 2020. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to today, I mentor in different capacities in different organizations. So the people I mentor are, again, young engineers. My youngest one is a high school kid that started his own company. And again, I see that theme repeating up to today. The people especially when you are very young, you don't know what you don't know. That's the main issue here.
Right, exactly.
So the purpose of the book is to guide those people, whether you start a hair salon or you design the next artificial intelligence, it doesn't matter. You need to know what the obstacles are that are in front of you, because if you don't know where the landmines are, I'm using a military slang here. If you don't know where the landmines are, you don't know to bypass them. If you know where the landmines are, you know to bypass them and get to the finish line successfully.
Yeah, exactly. So I was reading, I said, and many of your reviewers picked up on the fact that this is a serious book, yet fun to read, and that's what they said. And give us a few examples.
Yeah, I made it fun to read because I didn't want it to be too heavy. So I take serious business examples, but just the way I wrote it, I try to inject some humor. So just one example, if you ask, one of the case studies I cover is the development and the invention of light beer. And what I found out going through the history and the scientists that developed the process and what have you, turns out that he was a professor in a university back in the days where I was a lifeguard in that university, in the swimming pool of that university, and about the same time, total coincidence. So I complained to him that he never showed up to our swimming pool and served light beer to the lifeguard team. So that's just an example. I'm trying to have a light. This is literally light beer, but also light, make the story light and entertaining.
Yes, and that's so important. That is so important, especially when you have people that really don't know, but they're starting a business. They're starting they're starting something, but they really just don't know all the ins and outs of it.
Exactly.
And one thing I think I really enjoyed you said was that we have to solve a problem. What is the problem and how can you solve it? And that's how you bring products to place, the new ideals and things like that, by solving a problem that needs to be solved.
Yes, correct.
Now go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Or how would you summarize your core message?
The core message is, if I have to say it in one word or three words, the devil is in the details.
I like that. How could you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, right. And one quotation I did not use in the book, but I use a lot in my speaking engagements, is by Warren Buffett. He said once, an idiot with a plan will do much better than a genius without a plan.
And that is so true, because in everyday life, if you don't have a plan, you really don't get much done. You have all these things to do, but unless you write it down and be able to tick it off, sometimes you don't get anything done, because then you start getting all over the place. I know I do.
Yeah, exactly. And the plan doesn't have to be 200 pages. It can be one page. Actually, it's better to be one page, but just put a list of what you need to do. Give it to somebody to review, have a mentor that did the same thing for 20 years before you, and have them give you feedback of what you're missing.
Yes. Now, how would you describe the innovative mindset?
Innovative mindset would be a person that is thinking out of the box, and doesn't accept the status quo. It sounds very obvious, but you'll be surprised in many cases where people are doing the same thing over and over again for all their career. It's very difficult for them to think outside of the way they have done the same thing for 40, 50 years. As an executive in, once again, going back to Motorola, they allowed us to hire interns. So every summer I would hire young interns, 20 years old and so on, to come, and they don't have a box. So they're all over the place thinking and asking so-called stupid questions that are not so stupid. They just come out from the outside and asking questions, and many of these questions make sense. You say, oh, I never thought about it this way. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a short break, Arie, and we will be back. We will be right back after we hear from our wonderful sponsors.
Okay.
I'm Rox Berkey.
And I'm Charles Brakefield. We're award-winning co-authors, Brakefield and Berkey, of the Enigma book series. There are 10 books in the series, with book number 11 planned for release in January 2020.
Each story has a central technology focus ranging from identity theft to cryptocurrency and now AI wars. These adult techno thrillers pit cyber good guys against cyber thugs across the darknet.
In our world, technology is today's weapon of choice. You can enjoy ebook format, paper, or Audible. We want your feedback.
Until the next story, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, hello there, my friends. My name is Randy James, independent voiceover producer in the Dallas, Texas area, available to write and record a 30-second commercial, much like the one you're hearing right now. It's a great way to help increase awareness and exposure to your book title. It's easy to do. Simply call me and we'll brainstorm on a few ideas, and in a few hours, I'll whip something up and send you a digital file ready to use. Remember, call or text me, Randy James, at 214-762-1942.
Hello, I am the author and poet Denise Bryson. I am the author of The Things That Cross My Mind, Love's Reality, both in book and audio form. I am also noted as one of the best poets of 2011. I have 2 new projects coming up. One is the Blinky series, where Blinky tells us all about our coins and our bills for our children. I also have a book coming out called Say Ye. It's quotes from Denise Bryson, just inspirational and that will help you along the way.
Welcome back to Indie Beacon Radio. Don't forget to like us, follow us, or subscribe to one of our many channels. Now, here is your host for today's show.
Hello, welcome back to our radio show. We have been interviewing Arie Brish, author of Lay an Egg and Make Chicken Soup. And we have been learning about innovation and all of those things that are in his book. And this book is for everybody. It's for anybody that's starting a business, anybody already in business, anybody with innovative ideals that need to bring them to fruition. This is a book that you need to get. So Arie, we were just talking about what was an innovative mind, but what are some of the good ways and perhaps some not so good ways to generate new ideas?
Well, everything starts with a need in the marketplace, but you need to be careful not to get the new idea dictated by a customer. Another good quotation I like to demonstrate this concept, Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Automotive, he said, if I ask my customers what they want, they would tell me faster horses. So the customers are not always familiar with your capabilities and your technologies. Therefore, the trick is to ask the customers what they need as far as what kind of problem they're trying to solve, and then come out with a solution. So if I ask you today, okay, are you hungry? And you say yes, there are multiple ways to address your problem. I can either cook for you in your kitchen, I can invite you to a restaurant to have dinner, I can bring food to your place. There is multiple ways to solve your situation, which is, I'm hungry. Same thing goes in any other industries. So when I grew up in high tech, we would sit down with customers, and once again, we ask them the same question: what do you need from us? And they will tell us, I need X. And then you go into a dialogue, why X? And there is different way to what's your problem? Maybe you can approach it from a different angle and get it much cheaper or faster or whatever. So There is always multiple ways to solve the need of the customer, and you just need to ask the right questions and be creative in coming up with a solution.
Now, one of the things you said, you had diversity initiatives. You said, the study shows that diverse teams are doing a better job on innovation. Why do you think that?
It kind of comes to the innovative mindset in a way. I said innovative mindset is thinking out of the box. When you, let's say you start a business with your best friends from first grade, grew up together, for 20 years, you kind of tend to think the same way. And therefore you almost think like one person. When you bring diverse team, and diverse team is not just gender and race, it's could be coming from different schools, grew up in different cities, one comes from big city, one comes from a small city, different countries, etc., etc. Everybody that's coming from a different background brings a different way to think about issues. And when you take each person comes with a little box of their thinking. But if you put all these different people boxes, if you just imagine the team box is a collection of all the individual boxes, and if the team is diverse, all the individual boxes create a much bigger box, so it's easier for them to be creative and innovative. And back in the 1980s, diversity started as a social justice thing, but 20, 30 years later, there was lots of studies that shows that diverse teams did so much better than homogeneous teams, that it became something good for the business to do.
Yes, I agree. I think it has enhanced, business practices and things like, or projects by using a more diverse team, because you get different ideas, even if it's with age or with whatever it is, you get different perspectives, and I think that's a good idea. What do you mean by the learning curve management?
Anytime you do something, when you start to do something you haven't done before, it takes you longer, it's more expensive, you make more mistakes. So this is a learning curve. Back in the days when we used to have flat tire in the car every few weeks, first time you change a tire, it takes you half an hour or an hour maybe, but if you go to after you've done it for half a dozen times, it takes you 10-15 minutes. If you go to a professional, they do it in 3 minutes. If you go to a race car cruise, they all come in parallel and they change it in seconds. So this is a learning curve. The more you do it, the better you become in doing it. And that's, again, in any profession, whether you're a dentist or a restaurant owner or whatever you do, if you do it more and more and more, you become better in doing it.
Exactly. Now, one of the companies that you highlighted that has a good a model for development of new ideas and things like that is Toyota. You said Toyota encourages its employees to propose improvements and changes. As a result, they implement over 1 million new ideas per year. That's amazing.
Yes. So sometimes you think about a large company that have a certain way of doing things, and sometimes they discourage employees from raising their hand and saying, boss, this is not I have a better idea than you are. In some places they will be fired for doing that or saying that. Toyota created a process of encouraging, going back to your question about innovative mindset, part of it is who you are, but part of it is the environment you operate or work in. If the environment depress innovation or depress thinking out of the box, even if you have a better idea, you won't have the courage to say it. Toyota encouraged people to come up with new ideas, and being such a large company, they have $1 million per year or something, and the new ideas can be anything. It doesn't have to be 1 million new cars per year. It can be, I don't know, a new way to buy pencils cheaper, 3 cents cheaper, or a new way to clean the office. Anything is, any new idea is a new idea, and 1 million little new ideas collectively make a big impact on the company.
Exactly. Now, what you say you dedicated a whole chapter to emotional products. Can you elaborate on what emotional products are?
Yeah, emotional products are products that the value it gives you, the value is emotional, not tangible. If you're hungry, going back to you being hungry tonight, you take a food, you eat your dinner. That's a functional product. It satisfies your hunger. But when you decide to go to a fancy restaurant on the top of the 50th floor in some high rise and with gorgeous view and superb service, you pay much higher price. You can eat at home for $5. You go to a fancy restaurant for 50 or $100. This extra premium you pay is for the experience, and that's an emotional product. That's good feel that you get when you're being served with nice setting and nice view and what have you. So this is an emotional product. Some people buy car for an emotional reason. They want to show off that they can afford this expensive car. The trick becomes when you doing business to business, when you're trying to sell a product to, I don't know, a purchasing agent in General Motors or in IBM. You think they're all doing or analyzing the value of the product in a very professional way, but in business to business, sometimes when you try to sell, let's say, a technology to some other technology company, there are certain emotional tricks, I would say, that you can use to convince the other side that to try to give you a try or to buy this product. For example, I'm going to, again, one of the new products we launched back in the days of Motorola, we had a certain feature there that we basically, the message to the engineers, the decision makers were engineers that using this product as a building block in building some bigger or more complex system. The theme of our campaign was, this is a new technology. If you don't teach yourself to use it, you will be an obsolete engineer in 5 years. So we kind of scare those engineers that, just using this product will make them a better candidate in the next job hunting. So this is an emotional decision making for that individual engineer.
Okay, so all right, we're going to take another break. This is our second break, and we're taking another break so we can hear more from our wonderful sponsors.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Jerry Reedy, author of the book Heat in the Vegas Night. The book is a true inside story of a group of sophisticated blackjack players that take large sums of money from Las Vegas, led by one man, the boss, who trained a group of ex-college athletes from the Pacific Northwest to use a mirror to see the dealer's hole card in blackjack. The true story, stranger than fiction, is about casino espionage, teamwork, guts and determination, and courage. Find the book at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Target.
Thank you for watching or listening to Indie Beacon Radio. Our sponsor, IndieLector.store, is the only bookstore that pays authors their fair share for book sales. Help authors to succeed and enjoy a great book by supporting them at IndieLector.store. Enjoy a 10% discount with coupon code SHOPPER20 at IndieLector.store. Coupon valid until December 31st, 2020. That's IndieLector.store, coupon code SHOPPER20.
What started as a love letter to her son has become an international love letter for all parents to their children. Now you can read acclaimed author Shanalee Charbonneau's story to your children. When her son was very sick, she calmed him by singing her own song to him. She turned that song into the book, My Mama Loves Me, I'm Her Little Boy. She wrote 3 more magical books for all parents and kids 6 and under. Available at Indie Lector, Amazon, and all local and national outlets.
Authors Marketing Guild is a membership-owned organization designed to help authors succeed and learn how to better market and sell themselves and their books. Join us at authorsmarketingguild.com and receive so many benefits you'll wonder why you didn't join sooner. That's authorsmarketingguild.com.
Welcome back to Indie Beacon Radio. Don't forget to like us, follow us, or subscribe to one of our many channels. Now, here is your host for today's show.
We're back with Arie Brish, and he is the author of Lay an Egg and Make Chicken Soup. And so, Arie, I have one final question before we go to our What's Next segment. What in chapter 6 you say in business, different is better than better. So could you briefly explain that?
Yes, good question. So, in many cases, businesses trying to compete by being better or faster, or let's go back to the food again, trying to make a better meal or a tastier dinner. But you can compete on different angles. For example, you can have the best view in town, being at the 50th floor, or being on top of Lake Travis, or whatever it is. That's a different angle. So people come to you not because your food is better, but because you have a better view or a better service. So whatever it is, it's a different angle. I can take one quick example from, again, going back to technology background, working for Motorola for many years. Cellular phones at the beginning, you look too young to remember maybe, but in the 1980s, when cellular phones came, all the competitors were competing based on the features and the technology of the cell phone. Yeah. Came Nokia in the mid-90s, and totally new concept that they had different color options for the cell phones. Yeah. That was brilliant, and they became very quickly very successful with that. No, they didn't invest anything in the technology, just in the color of the case.
So I remember that first cell phone, that real big one. So I remember, I go back that far so I can remember that.
I'm trying to give you a compliment.
I know it. I smiled about it because that was awesome. Thank you so much. Well, tell us what's next for you, and what are you working on?
Okay, so the book, I don't consider myself a professional author. The book is kind of a complementary to all the services I conduct, mentorship, consulting with different businesses and so on and so forth. So the book, sometimes somebody asks me a question and I say, okay, read it in page 73 in the book, you'll have your answer. So it's kind of complement my consulting business. Mm-hmm. As far as additional writing, most of my additional writing, at least short term, is blogging, mainly on LinkedIn, but other media as well. So I get my writing satisfaction in writing short pieces for different blogs.
Okay, so you do LinkedIn, and then you do also your own personal blog, that you continue to bring more innovation of this book and the innovative ideas of your book for your consulting service. Well, it has really been, I'm telling you, it's been such a pleasure reading through the book, and it's been, and what is your website? Give us your website information.
The website is www.cxo360.net, and you can find the different blogs over there as well.
And you can also find your book on Authors Marketing Guild. You can find it there. You can find it at Amazon. And do you have any other outlets that you can find your book?
It's basically on almost every store that has a website. You can find the book. I started it on Amazon, but now it's available on every store outlet all over the world, especially in English-speaking countries.
Well, Arie, it has been a pleasure to chat with you about your book. Let me get it right now. Lay an egg and make chicken soup. Thank you so much for answering my questions, and thank you so much for sharing your time and taking the time out to talk to us about your book. This is something I'm going to, because I got a copy now, so I can read through it, because I'm starting a business. But anyway, I want everybody to remember to support our authors and continue to drop everything and read. But please get this book. If you are a business owner, or if you're somebody, a CEO, a CFO, or COO of a company, this is the book you need to get. Thank you so much for your time, Arie, and we appreciate you talking to us today.
Thank you. I was honored to be on this show.
Thank you for listening to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. To learn more about Indie Beacon services, to be a guest on the show, or to advertise on our show, please visit our website.
Indie Beacon Radio with hostess Denise Bryson. Indie Beacon Radio is produced by B. Allen Bourgeois for Authors Marketing Guild LLC, copyright 2020. Voiceover by Randy James, Lydia Bello, and B. Allen Bourgeois. To be a sponsor of the show or for more information, please email us at info@authorsmarketingguild.com. To be interviewed for the show, please complete the form at radio.authorsmarketingguild.com. Music Always Rejoice by Ramcord